The Evening Journal. The January 19, 1887 in Bytown on 18 York Street. Shortly after 6 o'clock last evening, the January 18th, a fire was discovered in the Canadian Institute building on York Street, and an alarm was given from the central station. The fire spread with amazing rapidity, and before any water could be thrown in it by the brigade, had gained possession of the center building, the stage, scenery and other light material supplying the means for a brisk fire. It was evident now that the building was doomed, and all that could be done was to prevent the fire from spreading to the central station, on the one side, and Davidson's Hotel on the other. The firemen surrounded the building and were pouring on great streams of water, from the George Street as well as from the York Street side, but with little effect on the burning material inside. Soon with a tremendous crash, the roof tumbled in, sending a shower of glowing sparks in all directions which, thanks to the snow on the adjoining roofs, fell harmless. The falling in of the roof uncovered a seething mass of flame that spread all over the entire building, and the flames sent up a reflection which could be seen over the entire city. The thermometer was at 20 below zero, but the gallant little fire brigade, although perfect moving gisicles, worked with skill and vigor, and the thousands that stood spectators of the conflagration, watched with admiration their gallant efforts. For nearly 2 hours 5 powerful streams, one from a 5-inch hose, were kept pouring upon the fire before any appreciable lessening of the flames, and for 2 more before the flames were entirely subbed. The fire was well stopped, for the adjoining buildings escaped injury, eased the central station, which was badly flooded, and the men's effect saturated. The loss by the burning will aggregate about $25,000. The building was insured in the Citizen Company for $8,000, and $1,200 in the same company on the contents. The basement of the building was used by the members of the Institute as a recreation hall and reading room, and was nicely fitted up and contained, besides the usual furniture, a piano and pool tables. The upper portion is occupied as a theater, and was at present under engagement to the Harry Lindley Combination. All the property and wardrobes of the members of the company were destroyed. Miss Margaret Dean and Bonnie Meyer being the chief sufferers. The origin of the fire is wrapped in mystery, and different wild stories were floating around last night, but it appears to have started in the dressing room beneath the stage, and to have been communicated from the heating apparatus. The caretaker was in the basement at the time, and did not notice anything wrong, until the fire had gained considerable headway, when gave the alarm, and the men in the central station immediately ran out one of the spare reels, just as number 3 came on the scene and began to lay their hose. Fortunately, there were no lives lost, and the only thing approaching an accident was the falling into the cellar of 2 of the firemen late in the evening. The electric light wires were a source of much danger, but they were promptly cut out on Sussex Street. One of the hydrants on Sussex Street burst soon after the fire started. It was not disabled, however, and its use was continued as long as necessary. A gang of men replaced it late last night. A rebound caused Box 62, corner of St. Patrick and Nelson Streets to ring, and a reel was dispatched, but of course the run was needless as there was no fire in the vicinity. Much complaint washer damning the firemen at the unnecessary interference of outsiders during the progress of the fire. One of these busybodies got a slap in the face from one of the brigade for making himself too previous. Owing to the severe frost, the hose was firmly frozen, and it was fortunate that no other fire occurred, or it would have made things pretty awkward. The desirability of bearing a few spare reels was very apparent. The police force, a large number of whom were on the scene, were vigilant in the preservation of order. City Detective Henry Montgomery worked like a Trojan assisting firemen of number 2.